Hello, I'm Mary V. Today, let's talk about getting away from beginner's sound. So, one of the things that I hear all the time with beginner violinists is the way that they throw their bow on the string. Okay, they start like this. They start playing like that. So we don't just put the bow down on the string like this. It sounds different and better if we do this. It's a much better sound because right from the beginning of the bow, you're making contact and you're making that string vibrate. So there's a tiny little click. Listen for the little click at the beginning. Right, I'll try it again a bit closer to the microphone. Now, after you've done this start and you've made the little click, then lighten everything so that you can discover what the weight of the bow actually is. Just the bow itself making the sound like this. It's very important that you don't put any weight on and distort the sound of the bow. You must discover just what that bow can do for you, because that's the starting point. So that's really the beginning of getting away from the beginner's sound, is being able to play whole bows with a good start and engaging the string all the way through. Now that means not playing too fast, because the weight of the bow and the speed creates the sound. Okay, so if you're going too fast, it can sound sort of skiffy and fluffy like this. Right, so you can hear that sort of skating over the string, and that means that you're not really vibrating the string with all the bow hair all the way up. So take a slow bow and make a good start and see if you can get all the way down and make a good sound. Like that. And that's what you're actually looking for. So you need to allow your bow arm to really relax once you've put your bow on the string, and let it float down and start discovering the sound that the bow actually makes on the string. So try that on all the strings. So the next thing to tackle to leave beginner's sound behind is to coordinate between left and right, because if they're not coordinated, no matter how good your bowing is, it's always going to sound fluffy like this. Now that sound was caused by putting the fingers down slightly after the bowing. So it's got to change bow and change fingers at exactly the same time. So one of the best ways to practice that is simply with smaller strokes and with a little left hand pattern. So take that as a basic pattern and then try it at different speeds and see if you can make the left hand and the right hand change at exactly the same time. So the next issue is using the bow in different ways, and it's learning how to let notes fade and to crescendo through notes. For example, if you take a D on the A string and you put a little bit of nice vibrato in it, see if you can do a really nice fade with the bow, but make the vibrato go a little bit faster as you fade, okay? And see what happens. So that's something that you can learn to do, and it creates a lot of magical moments in your phrasing if you're able to speed up your vibrato but slow down the bow and make it fade away. So there's loads of pieces where a little bit of variety in the speed and the weight of the bow and a little bit of variety in the vibrato makes all the difference. Take a piece like Amazing Grace. Now you can play it with everything being the same, right? So playing that with a lot of variety is more like this. Getting away from a beginner's sound is starting to use an incredible amount of variety in the phrasing, in allowing notes to fade away, to increase, and to have variety in the vibrato as well. So it's very different because you're making the music come alive. And you're just doing it with quite simple things, using different weights and speeds and varying the vibrato, mainly making sure that the vibrato is a little bit faster at the end of the notes. Okay, we usually concentrate on how we start our vibrato. Should start straight away. But there's something nice about a note where it's lingering in the air, but there's plenty of vibrato in it, like this. It's kind of magical. So these are things that you can practice and then put them into pieces. So that you can see developing your musicality and the feel of music is very important to develop away from beginner's sound, because it's all about shaping and expressing the music. But supposing you're playing a piece and you don't really know how to shape it, one of the best ways to do it and to discover is to sort of hum it, because the best way for the violin to sound is as if it's singing. So if you take that song Amazing Grace again, it goes up, and it comes down to the first note again. So there's a beautiful sort of growth in it, and then back to the next thing, which is leading on to the second phrase. And that is asking what's going to happen next. So it's growing, right? And this is the answer. Back back to that first note again. Beautiful. So let's just have a look at that phrasing. So you can hear that the repeated patterns in music, when they're a little bit different, can lead to a different sort of swelling emotion. And when things are repeated, they can be tender the second time. They can be slower, they can be quieter, more contemplative. And that's the language and the grammar of music that helps you get the sound that you want, because you have to use your bow in the way that you want to express. So start sort of thinking of some simple tunes you can play, like the Sky Boat song. So there's an example of a repeated pattern, but the notes are all rising up. So start medium. So the dotted rhythm sort of leads us up and then leads us back down to the first note again. And the second phrase. It's exactly the same, but it can be played with a different feeling to it. So if you play that with the wrong sort of bow, just very strict and with no lilting in it, it sounds a little bit robotic. So it takes more than just playing the notes with the same amount of bow. The musical intention is missing. There's no musical intention in there. But a sort of loving lilt and a gentleness will really come across. So it's really to do with intention. So that's how to start developing your sound, and just make sure that the start of the notes all start with a beautiful soft click. No matter what you're playing, even with an up bow. So I hope you enjoy playing some soft tunes thoughtfully, so that you can start developing your musicality and get away from beginner sound. So I'll leave it there. Bye.